just tell us how this started and kind of what was the impetus for launching this whole idea.
Yeah, so back when the whole Black Lives Matters movement started, our team had a lot of conversations about it. And like a lot of other teams, we put out a statement showing our support. But I think within our conversations, we would talk about what does your message mean if you don't put any action behind that. So it was honestly Lauren's idea to put together a swimathon. We originally thought that just our team would be doing it. But we thought, why not invite everyone from around the country and around the world to join us to hopefully make some change.
And so, how did you kind of settle on what the plan would be? I mean, there are plenty of swimathons that go on all the time. So, how did you kind of focus in on how you wanted to tailor this one to make an impact?
Yeah, we definitely had some difficulties just because we're a college team and there's a few restrictions. We're a little bit restricted on what we can do. But we really wanted to reach out to local communities. I think that's a really big thing that we talked about in the beginning was how can we reach out to like East Palo Alto? How can we reach out to the Bay Area and different low-income communities in that sense? Because they are the ones who don't have as much access to swimming and water safety lessons and all of that stuff that we have had the luxury of having access to. And so that was our big emphasis. And I think putting it out to a, like reaching out to all of these college swim and dive and water polo teams and basically saying like, look into your community and say, where can we help out? I think a lot of people have looked to boys and girls clubs. There's a lot of really cool options out there. So I think that was one of the main things we really wanted to do was not, we like have a national organization, but also focus locally and bring it back to the roots.
And I think what's been cool is that you have people involved and signed up from, I think we were talking 14 states around the country, lots of teams, lots of people that just want to do their part. And so what's been that response like? What's been the variety of things people have planned to do? Has it been, I know it's often centered around the number 846, right? But has there been people mainly focusing on that number of yards or laps or time? What have you seen?
There's been a really wide response. I know we're planning to swim 8.46 miles in the San Francisco Bay on Saturday, but we also have a teammate in Canada who's going to swim 8.46 kilometers. The women's national team is going to egg beat her for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. We have some of our goalies on our teams are only going to swim for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. It's kind of just, we wanted to make the movement accessible to everyone, which I think was really important for us. So just kind of like whatever you can do is what we want them to do.
Goalies always trying to get out of swimming. I don't know what it is about them. They don't want to do it. But and people may know the background behind this already, but that number 846, where does that come from, and what's the importance of that for those that aren't aware?
Yeah, so that's the amount of time that George Floyd was held under the knee of a police officer. I want to say 3 or 4 months ago. And so we've actually gotten, I think when this movement first started and we put out the first graphic that our teammate made, having the 846 on there, we got a question about what does it stand for? And I think that's one of the main reasons why we wanted to do this. We talked about having something that lasted and not just having it be a trend that stays on for a few weeks and then kind of people phase it out. And so having people ask that question and being able to answer it and say, like, this is important, this is something that we need to remember, is really cool. And I think that's part of what our message is like, this is not going away unless we actually put some action behind it.
You both talked about having that team meeting a while back and deciding what sort of impact could you have. Why is it important to you both, and I guess to your team and to others in general, to do something more than just maybe say you support something? Why was it important to try and actually show that in some way and try and raise some funds?
Yeah, I think at least for us, like what we're doing, raising money for children to learn how to swim, it's like a luxury for us. And we were both able to learn how to swim from a young age. And I think also, like, I don't know if I'd be at Stanford if I didn't have that opportunity. So I think being able to create that opportunity, the sport of swimming and water polo is so fun. And I want more people to have that opportunity. And I know there's like, we want more pool access. We want more swim clinics in low income areas so other kids can have this opportunity for not only that participate in the sport, but also for water safety.
Do you think this could be a thing that can become a reoccurring event or multiple times a year? What do you see for the future of this, ideally, if things go well this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at the beginning, we weren't really sure how much support we were going to get. We kind of thought this was going to be like our team, maybe a few players on our team will do it. The wide support we received is actually astonishing. We've got, like you said, 14 states signed on. and a bunch of teams from swim and dive to water polo to club water polo teams. I'd love to see this continue as a yearly event. I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot easier for us. This is the first time we've ever kind of put something like this together. And so we kind of had to deal with all the bumps and obstacles in the beginning pretty quickly. But now that we know what we're doing, like I think it'd be really, really cool to carry this on. And I'm excited to see and hopefully beat the total that we get this year, next year.
And as you've alluded to, a lot of great organizations to donate to and to share funds with. Brenda Villa Foundation, I know a lot of people are supporting, and the women's national team, that's what they're going to devote their 8 minutes and 46 seconds of treading to. USA Water Polo just recently launching a designated fund for racial equity, reform, diversity. That's available on the usawaterpolo.org website. What are some of the other places that people are kind of channeling their fundraising efforts?
I think ASU is donating towards Swim Uphill, which is put on by a Paralympic swimmer, which is really cool to donate some of your efforts there. And then there's also Diversity in Aquatics, which is a pretty national organization that looking into different local communities and donating money towards swim clinics there. So there's a lot of options. And then, like I said earlier, there's YMCAs, Boys and Girls Clubs. Hopefully, as this picks up this year, there'll be more opportunities next year. So I think that's another thing that we're kind of looking forward to, is seeing things pop up in different areas because there is an interest in donating towards this cause.
Now, I know you two have done a great job getting the word out, but it's possible that someone watching here today, maybe this is the first time they're ever hearing about it, right? The opportunity to swim is coming on Saturday. If someone wants to kind of jump into this now, what's the best way to try and take some action and move forward for Saturday?
Yeah, I think just deciding how much you want to swim. Hopefully you have access to a pool, but if not, even just looking up some local organizations, and you could even go like run for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, even if you don't have access to a pool, and like try to find some donors. We have some email templates looking for donors on our websites. So just email your friends and family, let them know that you're passionate about this cause, and then just complete swim and donate is the kind of end goal.
And what's the best way to get in contact with the group as far as a website, social media, if you want to learn more about what's going on?
Yeah, you can always reach out to us on social media. I think me and Sarah run both the Twitter and the Instagram. So if you have any questions or specific questions regarding your team or your individual interest in this swim, let us know. And then our email is swim4diversity@gmail.com, and we'll check that pretty regularly. We've been getting responses from a bunch of different people. So yeah, if you have any questions, reach out to us.
Very cool. And looking forward to seeing a bunch of, I'm sure there'll be photos and videos from people's different swims and things that treads and all that stuff. So hopefully, if you're doing that, make sure you take video, take photos, share that stuff. I think that's a great way for people to try and know what happened and remember it, as you talked about, trying to build it forward for a bigger event down the road or next year. Also, I know so many people have not gotten a chance to play water polo or be in the pool or do something competitive. This is obviously a more important cause than your typical water polo game, but I imagine it'll feel good to be back in the water with purpose.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our season was canceled last spring, so kind of since we've been able to do a little bit of training now back at Stanford, but since then it will be nice to kind of get in the pool with the teammates and work towards a common goal. Yeah, if anyone is in the Bay Area and wants to join us in the San Francisco Bay, we're at Aquatic Park on Saturday.
What time does that start?
I'm not sure. We'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. Got to make sure we know what time we're getting in the water. You alluded to kind of getting back with the team, and since you're both college water polo athletes, I know a lot of people are just curious. The announcement just recently that the men's season will get slid to essentially January to March, and then presumably women will fall in after that. What's it been like to kind of be interacting with your teammates and approaching what you hope is a 2021 season?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been different. We've never had, meeting the freshmen be over videos and not in person. So that's been a little bit hard getting used to. A lot of breakout rooms, a lot of team Zooms. I think overall we've tried to do a good job of integrating ourselves within the team just so that those freshmen feel welcome, because this is, new to everyone here, not just them. And I think just making sure we're holding each other accountable, making sure everyone's working out, making sure everyone's putting in the time like we were at school, even though we're kind of not. And then just, looking forward to a day when we can get back on campus and start training again.
Yeah, I think that's a feeling that everyone is going through right now. I know water polo is a bit scattered around the country. Some places are back doing some training. Others are still waiting to get back into the pool and waiting to have some meaningful action. Well, really appreciate you two taking the time and excited for what you have in store here for this Saturday and looking to share a lot of what people do this weekend to help raise funds for a good cause. So best of luck with everything on Saturday.
Yeah,
Thanks, Greg.
you.
Send in
All
your
right,
pictures and
Lauren.
videos of anyone participating. We'd love to repost them on social media.
Yeah, so make sure you tag, right, at Swim for Diversity. Is there any hashtag or anything, or is it just tag the account?
You can hashtag making waves, but mostly
Okay.
just tag our Swim for Diversity.
Excellent, cool. Sarah, Lauren, thanks so much for the time.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Greg.
thank you.
All right. Thank you to those two for joining us again. As they mentioned, you can go to at Swim for Diversity and learn more about what they're working on this coming Saturday. If you're just hearing about this, you can get involved. You can figure out what you want to do, how long you want to swim for, whether it's time, laps, yards, really get aggressive miles, who knows, and help support a good cause. There's a variety of good funds. As we mentioned, the USA Water Polo, of course, with the USA Water Polo channel here, so worth telling you that there is a designated fund that would apply for Swim for Diversity or anything going forward, funds that are going to be used towards racial equity, reform, and diversity. So make sure you check that out, usawaterpolo.org. Go to the Give Now, Donate area, and then there is a special drop-down for that designated fund. So you can learn more there at usawaterpolo.org and more about Swim for Diversity at Swim for Diversity on Twitter or Instagram. Thanks again to Sarah, Klass, Lauren Indart for joining us. Greg Mescall saying thanks for being here, and we will talk to you soon on the USA Water Polo channels.